This video will be explaining the research genre of literacy autoethnography. But first, what is autoethnography? Let's break down its meaning through etymology. First, we have auto, meaning self, while ethno means culture. And finally, graphy means the study of. So together, autoethnography means the study of your own culture and how you fit in it. A literacy autoethnography, therefore, is a personal narrative paired with research about your literacy community. As De Souza Vasconcelos writes, autoethnography thus turns the autobiography or memoir genre into a method for conducting and displaying research. Let's look at 3 examples from the article Autoethnography by Adams et al. We begin with Carolyn Ellis, who discusses her autoethnographic research of compassionate storytelling. Ellis primarily works with Holocaust survivors, collaborating with them through compassionate interview to tell their stories and to co-process trauma. Ellis' work shows how autoethnography is meant to be personal in nature and can, and often does, rely on collaboration with our participants. Her work also shows us how focusing on specific populations, like Holocaust survivors, can help researchers go into depth. Next, Tony Adams shares a few personal interactions that prompt him to engage this type of research. His work centers his sexuality as a gay man and his everyday occurrences that, he writes, illustrate assumptions of heterosexuality that can characterize everyday interactions. We see how Adams' approach is distinct from Ellis' focus and methodology. Rather than seeking out individuals who share a common history or identity, Ellis focuses on interactions that reveal something about expected heteronormativity and commonplace interactions. Finally, we end with Stacey Holman-Jones' work. Holman-Jones writes about adoption, a story that ripples outward from telling her own story of adopting to learning the history of adoption in her larger family. She writes much about the conscious decisions of when and when not to write about personal work, revealing to us that there are many personal lines we need to mitigate and make decisions around in this research. On the other hand, Holman-Jones also writes that conducting research on such a personal topic opened up dialogue and fostered closer relationships within her family. Autoethnography in this case can work on a personal level, as reflected by her ruminations on research, helping her think through topics like loss. Each of these 3 examples highlight different dimensions of autoethnography. It is a social, intentional, and reflective process of writing about your research of social communities.